It's very bizarre. The 5 best records in the NFL are in the NFC. All the teams with 1 loss, and in Arizona's case, no losses. Wow. The drop-off after that is immense in talent, and Green Bay jumps in. New Orleans jumps in right there. So, are they going to fall behind Minnesota? They're going to fall behind San Francisco or Atlanta? There's 3 wild cards. I got to think the Saints are getting one of them.
Yeah, that final drive for the game-winning field goal, that was painful to watch at times. Pablo, what about the Saints as a playoff team?
Yeah, look, Frank, in deference to Tim's theory of NFL seasons, the season is over for the Jets and Giants, right? Like the New York teams, it actually is over. Like we can actually stop paying attention to them. For the rest of the NFC, though, it's important to remember this basic fact. There are going to be 7 playoff teams. 7. And so the idea that the Saints, are they, in the top half of the league? Absolutely they are. I mean, Jameis Winston is a hilarious player that I would never want to invest my personal trust and sanity into. But the idea that he can be the quarterback of a playoff team in a conference, as Tim pointed out, that's full of lots of fat at the bottom, absolutely he can be.
Clinton Yates?
When I think about this team, I think about the online surveys you fill out, and you get 5 options: poor, mediocre, good, very good, excellent. The Saints are good. They're right in the middle. That's about it. Making the playoffs does not make them some sort of above-average team, in my opinion. And last night was an example of that. They found a way to get a win on the road. They're still trying to figure it out at quarterback, but good is about as good as it gets.
Ramona's going to tell us all about the Rams and the Chargers in L.A., but what about the New Orleans Saints?
Look, they'll probably make the playoffs. They have a good record. They're finding ways to get wins. I was going to talk about their defense and how they looked good, but then I was watching the Seahawks again, and they were not good. So it's hard to give them credit for that performance.
All right. Meanwhile, on the Seahawks front, let's go to Around the Horn's Northwest correspondent, Mina Kimes, speaking today on First Take.
Do you think the Seahawks should consider moving on from Pete Carroll?
I think that unless there's some dramatic changes, it has to be on the table.
Wow. Our girl, Pablo, crushing poor Pete Carroll. Is he the problem?
Right, Frank, when you lose the person who, I was at her wedding, I can say this, who wore a Seahawks helmet at her own wedding, things are not going well for you, Pete Carroll.
Bad for her,
and
good
look,
for
I
you.
know... hilarious in every way for content and meme reasons, of course, but she has a tattoo on her arm of the Super Bowl. Like, Pete Carroll has done a lot for fans in Seattle, but it does feel like his time has come to its logical end here. It feels like they're running an archaic offense, too. The whole team needs a changeover, it seems.
He lost the Kimes endorsement. What about that, Tim?
She went on to talk about his clock management and issues there, which leads to my belief that whatever team you watch, you think that coach sucks at clock management.
Yes.
You believe he is terrible.
You're in Dallas. You know all about that.
No, well, in the case, it's true here, but I would just mean everywhere else. You think it's probably true. I would say no. I would say Pete Carroll's done a lot for them. Give him a year to dig out of this and see where he can go.
I agree. Plus, his quarterback is hurt. Ramona, what about Pete Carroll? Is that the problem?
I don't know. I live in L.A., so I watch Sean McVay and Brandon Staley all the time.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was
walk on water. Look, Pete Carroll, to me, I don't think he lost Mina. I don't think he did. I think they're just having a bad year. They don't have Russell Wilson, and the whole team is built around Russell Wilson. But it looks like he's coming back sooner than we expected. So as bad as they look, as much as in the NBA, I would tell them to tank. I think in football, with as wide open as the NFC wildcard race still is, if he comes back in a week or two, they're still in it.
All right, Clinton, clean this all up for us. What do you got?
I think there's also a question about whether or not we're going to be seeing Russell Wilson every day for the next couple years. You might have to start looking underneath that on the depth chart. Might be time to pick somebody to be a successor who can at least play, because you don't want Eugene Smith out there throwing passes every day for you. That's not going to work.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.